Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Myself, Zakaria Ahmed, Technical Assistant, Biotech Hub, Bahana College. It's my pleasure to welcome you all here to the online lecture on entrepreneurship organized by DPD funded Institutional Biotech Hub, Bahana College, Jorhat. Thank you. Now, this session will be inaugurated by our Honorable Principal, Dr. Sumbit Chalia, sir. Now, I'll request sir to inaugurate our session. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, one and all present here. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming all of you to the online talk on entrepreneurship organized by Institutional Biotech Hub of Bahana College. On behalf of Bahana College, I welcome all of you. I want to convey my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Subita Mishra, speaker of this special online talk. I would also like to express my sincere thanks to all the participants from various parts of the country who sincerely committed to this event to make it a success. Bahana College is affiliated to Dibrugarh University and is located in Jorhat district of Assam in a rural environment. The Bahana College was established in 1966 and has 15 departments of science and art faculties. The college has accredited a A+ grade by NAAC in October 2022 during the third cycle assessment. It has distance education programs under Dibrugarh University and Krishnakanta Hendrik State Open University. The college has a good research environment with a sophisticated research laboratory in the Department of Physics, besides DPT-sponsored Biotech Hub. Institutional Biotech Hub of Bahana College organizes a series of online lectures on entrepreneurship. This lecture is 6th one. I am sure that this talk will be profitable and fruitful for everyone present here. I welcome you all once again to the event and hope that you all will enjoy the talk. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for inaugurating our today's program. Now, I'd like to request our coordinator of Biotech Hub, Bahana College, Dr. Sankita Das, ma'am, to say a few words. Thank you, ma'am.
A very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all the online participants. Respected Principal, Bahana College, our today's speaker, Sabita Mishra Madam, all our distinguished guests, research scholars and students who are present here across the country, and of course my fellows Zakaria and Monica. This is the 6th online lecture on entrepreneurship organized by Institutional Biotech Hub of Bahana College, and today's lecture will be developed by Sabita Mishra Madam on a very important topic which is on vocational education, developing skills for entrepreneurship. This online lecture series is an attempt of this Institutional Biotech Hub under Phase 2 Department of Biotechnology DPT Doctor of India project, and we are trying to invite notable resource persons who have attained some distinguished levels on their own, and we are trying to develop a sense of entrepreneurship among our alumni, our different stakeholders, as well as different participants across the country. So if anyone, if we are able to receive any feedback, or if we can get any kind of collaboration, maybe in terms of academic or extension, or maybe in research as well, in terms of entrepreneurship, then we will think that this online lecture series has become a successful one. So with these few words, I welcome each one of you into this program once again, and with this I conclude here. Thank you. Over to Zakaria.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your speech. Now, I'd like Ms. Malika Barua to introduce our resource person. Thank you to Ms. Malika Barua.
Dr. Savita Mishra ma'am is a principal in Vidyasagar College of Education, Phansi-Deoba, Darjeeling, West Bengal. She has impeccable records of 21 years of teaching and research activities. She is continuously engaged in organizing national and international level conferences, webinars, and workshops for dissemination of knowledge and expertise to the stakeholders of education. She has acted as a resource person in 462 conferences at national and global level. She has published She has published more than 200 research articles in reputed national and international journals and authored and edited 137 books. She has also developed a psychological tool for assessing attitude towards science. She has awarded Best Teacher Award, Best Principal Award, Best Academician Award, Celebrity Writer Award, Excellent Achiever Award, Women Researcher Award, Indian Star of the Year Award 2023, Mahatma Gandhi Memorial Award, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel Bharatiya Ekta Samman, Global Book of Star Records, Bharat Book of Records, Mahatma Gandhi Peace Award, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Social Reformer Award, India Pride Award, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Award, International Literary Award, International Pride Award, Second IOER International Pinnacle Award, International Icon Award, Guru Samman, National Achievers Award, Outstanding Scientist Award, and many more. Her inspirational story, published in several magazines and autobiography books. She is a global speaker, national coordinator of MGNCRE, Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education, Government of India, and recognized by Guinness World Record, London Book of Records, awarded with Asia Creative Hero. We are change leaders of all national, international, most outstanding school leader by international organizations of educators and researchers INC, Excellence Book of Records, and global ambassador of many organizations. She has been conferred the title of Leading Educationist of the World by IBC Cambridge, London. She is continuously working for women empowerment, education, environmental protection, social transformation, and for happy and healthy society. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Malika Barua. Now we like to hand over the lecture session to our today's chief guest, Dr. Savita Mishra ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Can you allow me to share my screen? Yeah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Honorable Principal Sir, organizers of this lecture series, Jakaria Sir and Madhika Ma'am, Sangeeta Ma'am, good afternoon to you all. Dear participants, scholars, students, alumni from different colleges and different states also. So a very good afternoon to you all. As you know that this is very important topic today we are going to discuss on developing entrepreneurship skills through vocational education. All of you know that recently in 2020 we have received a very important national education policy, and if you see the national education policy, one thing is very important, that is the starting of vocational education from class 6th grade. So what is the need of this? Because already we are following the Kothari Commission, In that also they have emphasis the skill education or entrepreneurship skill. Even in 1956 also, and so since so many years they are telling about the entrepreneurship skill, vocational education, work education. But what is the result? State that our country is the like highest percentage of unemployment. So now this NEP 2020 had changed a little bit different from those earlier policies and that earlier schemes, that our students will gain vocational education from class 6, so that when students come out from school or from college or from university, they will not come out only certificate or degree. They will come out with some skills, with some like techniques, or with some degrees of vocations, so that if they will not get job, even the private job or government job, they will start their startup. And this is the one and only way we will remove the unemployability from our country. And if we will not be serious now, then the days will come when that our youth, maximum percentage of our youth will be unemployed. They will leave their villages, they will leave their country, and they will be go in depression. So this is not the work for the government. We as an individual, as a citizen of our country, each and every one responsibility that we have to work on it, and we have to develop our own skills as a student, as a teacher, as an individual, as a citizen of our country. We have to develop as a teacher in institution. We have to inculcate this skill development in our students, because as you know that Mahatma Gandhi has said that by education I mean an all-round drawing of the best in child and man in body, mind and spirit. So if you think about the skill development, that there are two types of skills, all of you know, that is the soft skill and hard skill. Even a person is highly skilled person, suppose carpenter, he is very skilled, he knows that how to make a good furniture, that so many things. But if he does not know how to speak to customer, if does not know that how to know the emotions of the customer, then he will not be a good entrepreneur. So it is very important, be a entrepreneur, be a good entrepreneur. You have to expert in both soft skills and hard skills. So today we will discuss little bit about this both, and our main target is that as a student, as a teacher, as the member of the society, how we develop these skills in our schools, colleges, universities, and in the society. Because education is not only that reading and writing. All of you know that three types of domains of education. That is the cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. Cognitive is related to our head, our brain, that we gain the knowledge. Then cognitive, affective is related to our heart, our feeling. And psychomotor is related to our hand. We are organizing the program, we are working, we are giving the hands-on experience. So these three are the So we have added two more things in the education nowadays, that is the 5H and health and holistic. Because health is very important, health is wealth, and if you are not in good health, even you start the good.
क्यों? पैकेट खोले पैकेट खोले There are some network issue, I think. Yes, there are some network issue. Sorry for the inconvenience. নহ'লে বেছি লাইব্ৰেৰীত লাগি ধৰিলে বোলো ক'লোঁ
Please stay on the line.
Please wait, there are some network issue, I think.
Yes, hello. My voice is.
Yes, ma'am.
Am I able to?
Yes.
Am I able to? I think laptop internet is. Okay, when internet will come, I will connect with the. Okay, so what are you listening my voice?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm connecting my this mobile. I think laptop connection has got no problem. It will come then, and I will share the PPT also. No problem. So Deners has given this very important. Then, if you think about the skill development means students not only receive a degree, they are also resilient to challenges that are thrown at them in life. So when they come out from school or universities or colleges, they have to face the challenges of their life in society, in day-to-day life. So they will be resilient to different challenges and they will tackle these problems in their life, whether they start the business, where they will go in different jobs. So that is very important in conclusion of vocational education in our curriculum, skill development and work education with experiential learning and vocational education. These all three are very important because you know that experiential learning is also the combination of hand, head, heart. We gain the knowledge, we practice it, and you will organize on the basis of experience and learning. You will learn so many things. And vocational education, it is also the practice of skill development. What you learn once, that you have to practice again and again. Suppose like I give a very simple example, that is the cooking. So cooking is a very simple example, but once you cook, you will not be a good chef. So what happened? You have to practice and again cooking. Then only you can start up a business on the basis of this cooking, like this craftsmanship and other creative writing. There are so many things you can start your own business, and for that you have to be skilled in that particular things. Because you know that skill, when you talk about the skill, it means the caution, means you have to be perfect in that, you have to be expert in that. That it is the ability to perform an action with expertise and with accuracy, with appropriateness. So you will be master in that skill, whether it is soft skill, whether it is the hard skill. And without expertise in any skill, you will not perform any business, you will not start any business. If you start, you will not excel in that business. So that is very important, that first you have to be expert in particular skill as per your interest. That is very important in higher education, even in the like all levels. It is very important. Skills should be chosen by the student's own interest, because what happened, as a teacher, my interest is different, as a student your interest is different. So if you choose the skill, expertise in skill, if you want to expertise in different skills and selection is yours, then your interest will be there and you will learn more and more with perfection. So you have to choose that in which type of job you can select, in which type of area you will start the startup or business, and then in such area you will take the training and you will practice in that. So if you talk about the skill development, means it is the holistic growth of the student. You have to take the academic achievement also, and that skill development cultivate a well-rounded individual who can navigate life's challenges with confidence and competence. So your academic achievement is there. You have to pass out your degree, that at least the essential degree like 10, 12, graduation. If you want to do master, so you have, with academic achievement, you have to be skilled in some some degree or some qualification, some vocational education, or something that in which you are interested. Because as you see the history of the skill development, it's not new. That I'm not saying something new. It is already started in 1956, skill development, and before that, like post independence, it was started. And that time you must have heard about the vocational training education and education and training. Then 1961 also Apprenticeship Act was started. Then Kothari Commission has come. National Labour Policy was framed in 1966. Then Industrial Training Institute. So All India Council of Technical Education also formed in 1987, and they have started the training of polytechnic and started the technical college. Even the National Policy of Education was 1986. So you see that since 1956 it was started, and now in 2015 you must have heard that the Skill India Mission, that is very important, Skill India Mission was launched, and the National Policy on Skill Development and Entrepreneurship was framed that time, and the Training and Apprenticeship Division was moved from Ministry of Labour and Employment to this Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. And so many schemes have given by Government of India to start the entrepreneurship, to remove the unemployability from our country. Because if you see the ecosystem of skill development, that is something different from the just give me time. 1 minute. I again try to start the this link, because you are not able to see the PPT.
Okay.
Just 1 second. I will try to start from the laptop.
Okay.
Because maybe something connectivity problem is in their laptop. Okay, when internet will come, then I will share the PPT also with you, no problem. So if we see the ecosystem of skill development, this is little bit different from our like daily academic what we are doing in the classroom, because the ecosystem of skill development here is complex, and variety of skills needed for a large chunk of population. Because you know that formal education is very easy. Once you go in the graduation, you have to read the same syllabus. When you go to the master, again you have to read the same syllabus. And from the primary to higher level, you know that this is the syllabus you have to read out, and you have to pass your degree. But when you talk about the skill development, so it like a variety of skills, and you have to know that in which skill you have to be expert, in which entrepreneur you want to be. So your selection is very important. And in India, skill development like education also and vocational training also, and Ministry of Human Resources controls the primary education to the higher education, all of you know. And university and higher education caters to all college education, like whether arts, science and commerce, while engineering education, polytechnics fall under the technical education. All of you know that UGC is the northern body governing funds, and they are giving the grants for teaching, research, and AICT is the regulatory body for technical education in India. So these are also given so many entrepreneurship project that you can do, and you can develop your skills. So if you see the ecosystem, that there are two channels of skill, how you acquire the different type of skills. There are two channels. That is, the one is the formal and the other is the informal. If you see the format, that is very important. You know that you can get admission in ITI, Industry and Training Institute, then privately operated industry and training centers, vocational schools, specialized institutes for technical training and apprenticeship training by the industry. So there are so many private sector also, public sector also, where you can gain the different type of skills. And you know that private sector is dominated by the public sector. So if you see that informal training refers to experiential skills and what is required for the job. At the central level, the Northern Institute for Vocational Training is the Director General of Employment and Training under the Ministry of Labour and Employment. They are given the informal training, and National Skill Development Council, now a part of the newly created Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and it was initially set up under the Ministry of Finance to provide viability gap funding and promote private skill initiatives. So government is continuously doing for this, and there are so many government initiatives, so many government schemes for skill development, and main that how to create the employability for our students, for our citizens. So in order to enhance the employability of the workforce, Government of India has given several initiatives. You must have heard about the Skill India mission, which was started in 2015, and yes, very good. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. So, yes. So, Government of India has given so many initiatives, and that is the first all of you know about the Skill India mission, and it was started in 2015. Our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi launched the Skill India mission, which was in accordance with his vision to help India become Atmanirbhar, self-reliant, and this initiative was aimed to create and implement comprehensive skill development training programs that would help bridge the gap between industry demands and skill requirements, and therefore develop the country at large. So this is very important, and we are continuously working to how to make our youth Atmanirbhar, how to make our country Atmanirbhar Bharat. And to become Atmanirbhar, it is not the work of the institution, not only the work of the university, it is the work of each and every citizen, that how you become as a Atmanirbhar, self-independent. Then only you can fulfill the dream of our India at the global level as a Atmanirbhar Bharat. Second scheme was initiated as Pradhan Mantri Kaushal Vikas Yojana, and it is a flagship scheme of the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, and the main objective of this scheme is to enable the youth to take up industry relevant skill training that will help them in securing a better livelihood. And these all schemes are made by the government, and as a citizen it is our duty that you have to avail this opportunity. So under this scheme, training and assessment fees are completely paid by the government. This everything paid by government. This is a free training and everything. So anyone can take the training from this under this scheme, and they can start their business, they can start the entrepreneurship, and they can excel in that. So third was very famous, that is the Sankalp. It was launched on 19th January 2018. That is the skill acquisition and knowledge awareness for livelihood promotion. Its main aims was to address the ongoing challenges like bringing about convergence, infusing quality in skill development programs, and making them market relevant and accessible while ensuring private participation in the context of short-term training. So this is also very important. UDAN, you must have heard about the UDAN. It is a special industry initiative for Jammu and Kashmir implemented by National Skill Development Corporation, and it is also based on the partnership between the corporates of India and the Ministry of Home Affairs. So there are so many programs started by Government of India, vocationalization of higher education, because it is very important nowadays to order to bridge the industry academia gap. because what happened, in whenever you are in college or university, you can only think about the academic degree. But when you pass out from the college, university, then the main question comes that now what next? Where to go? Because you need employment, you need a job after passing the degree, and that is the biggest challenge for every student. That what next? Where to go for this job? And that's why it is very important that you have to fill the gap as a teacher, as a like industry holder, or like a government initiator, everyone, policy maker. We have to fill the gap, this academia and industry gap. And for that, National Skill Development Corporation was developed to integrate skill-based trainings into the academic cycle of universities, and these are based on national occupational standards set by industry through Sector Skills Council. So you know that there are also some mission on polytechnics under the Coordinated Action for Skill Development that was started and 15-16. That is also that setting of new polytechnics and scheme of community development, central assistance for the upgradation of selected polytechnics, so that maximum students will be benefited to and pass this degree to get the job and to start their own entrepreneurship. The National Policy on Skill Development, it was started in 2009, and main objective is that entrepreneurship ecosystem to create in the industry, and the experience gained through the implementation of various skill development programs. The policy was revised, and second policy for skill development and entrepreneurship, again that was launched on July 15 and July 15, 2015. So because these all policy main aim is to meet the challenge of skilling at scale with speed, standard and sustainability. That is very important. And if you see, and main aim, if you see, that it provide an umbrella framework for all skilling activities being carried out within the country to align them with common standards and link skilling with demand centers. This policy also seeks to coordinate and strengthen factors essential for the growth of entrepreneurship across the country. So we have to know about these all schemes, and we have to tell others also. We have to aware also other people how to avail opportunity of this government schemes to start our own startup, to start our own business. Jan Shikshan Sansthan is also there. Deen Dayal Upadhyay Gramin Kaushal Yojana was also started by Government of India. Then main is integration with general education. That what I'm telling, that main thing I want to tell with you all, that why vocational education is started from the class 6, because government want to integrate with general education with the employment. So after passing degree, at least you know that how to start your business, how to start your own activities. So deal your each and every like necessity of the life with the dignity. And for that main purpose of this inculcation of vocational education, that is to empower 50% our population to exposure to the vocational education. And this in NEP 2020, it has given the target that by 2025, at least our 50% population will get the vocational education and vocational education exposure. So they are given the training through so many like Lok Vidya is there, through formal and informal education. Through if you are graduate student, then you know that internship program is added in the curriculum, apprenticeship program, project is added in the curriculum. That's why you get the academic degree also, and with the academic degree you have to prepare yourself for your future job also. So that is very important that we have to do the skill mapping. And skill mapping is a process for identifying, documenting and evaluating the skills of individuals or organizations, in which field we can do this area, in which field we can excel. So that's why you have to identify the gaps. And there are two types of skill mapping, that is the vertical skill and the horizontal skill. Vertical skill, all of you know that the development of a skill, suppose if you started one business on creative writing, so how you develop that business, how you excel in that business. And horizontal skill means transferability of skills across different jobs or occupation. Suppose you have started one cooking business and like corona had come and so lots of business were closed that time. So if you have, you know that how to transfer your that skill in different job. So if you have started a hotel business and it was closed during corona, if you have a skill of cooking, no problem, you can start the same business from the home delivery or like from the other things, you same skills you can transfer in other job. So that is the horizontal skill. And if you vertical skill is mapping is also very important, because here you have to go for the career progression, depth of expertise, specialization and professional development. If you see the horizontal skill mapping, that is also very important, because for cross-functional competencies, adaptability, diversity of skills and talent mobility, because you know that it facilitates lateral movement between roles or even industries, and you can like excel in different field. And sometimes we have to integrate the both vertical and the horizontal mapping, because what is the benefit of integration? That benefits are the strategic workforce planning. We allow for the strategic planning by aligning skills with organizational goals and industry trends. Holistic talent development, we support the design of holistic talent development programs that address both specialized and cross-functional skill needs. Agile workforce enables organizations to build agile workshop capable of adapting to changing business environments, because you know that now the world is something different. If now you are in college or you are in universities, your life is different. When you enter in the social life, real life, then you know that at every step you have to face the challenges, and you have to be strong. You have your confidence and in both IS, very good. If you want to become a doctor, if you want to become an engineer, if you want to become a like excel in any academic field, that is very good. But still, if you want to sustain in that particular job, you also need to learn the soft skill, because if in any place you have to deal with the public, you have to talk with the public, you have to deal so many programs in the government or the state government or the local level. So how you deal the public, for that you have to know the soft skill. Even in the family, if you want to live a happy family, you have to learn the both soft skill and hard skill. So that is very important. And as an individual, that is my humble suggestion, that as an individual, each and every individual have to be expert in both soft skill and hard skill, because and this cultivating soft skill is not very tough. That it's soft skill, as you know, that we also tell the life skill or 21st century skill. So here you know that communication is skill. You have to understand the other emotions, like where to talk, what to talk, where to sit, how to behave the others, how to know the other behaviors, how to be helpful people in others. So this is very important. If you excel in your business entrepreneurship, you have to also learn both skills. And there are so many strategies. Even the curriculum from lower to the higher education, there are so many pedagogy. through which a teacher teach the students both soft skill and the hard skill, because you know that if you become a great industrialist, you can see the Ambani, you can see the other, there are so many industrialists, how soft spoken they are. You must have know that Tata group of industries, if they speak, they like that something like music is like blowing everywhere. So soft, they are very soft spoken, and to grow the business, you need this soft spoken, soft skills. So that is also important. Then in curriculum we have to add the project based learning, and in your syllabus I think that NEP 2020 syllabus, that curriculum we have given to the graduate or the postgraduate, in that these pedagogy are included, that students do the project learning. In their project is given to the student, they will fulfill the project, and through the project they learn so many skills. Then collaborative activities, teamwork, you learn the leadership skill, you learn the team work through the collaborative activity. Experiential learning opportunities, that is very important, because you know that through experiential learning you learn so many things, you know that how to use it, how to develop the different skills. Hands-on activities, you know, you are able to analyze the situation, you are able to evaluate the outcomes, and you will be the quick decision makers, how to improve your business, how to critical thinking, problem solving skills. There are so many things you know through the experiential learning opportunities, and that's why this pedagogy is also included in curriculum. So as a teacher, as a mentor, we have to provide the opportunities to our students in the campus and outside the campus to be such a learner through experiential learning activities, because you have to know each and everything in the education process, both cognitive, affective and psychomotor. So in this series, vocational education is also one of the pedagogy, and vocational education, sometimes anyone say that this is a career skill, that is the technical education, but this is something different from the career and technical education. This is such a education where you have to learn both cognitive, affective, psychomotor, but with this you know the holistic, you be a holistic knowledge, and you can take care of your health also, because it tells you that how to become a skillful in that person, that skill, and how to do practice again and again. You know the practice makes man perfect, so you have to do practice in that particular skill again and again, then only you be a skillful person. And for that only bookish knowledge is not efficient, not sufficient. You have to do the hands-on training on that. You have to do a practice again and again. And here teacher acts as a facilitator. They will facilitate you, they will provide you different activities like field-based activities, school-based activities, experiential-based activities, and all these activity promote the students to improve the quality and also gaining the knowledge towards education. So if you see the integrating vocational education, and if you know the NEP 2020 document, then you must have seen that how NEP 2020 has given emphasis to the inculcation of inclusion of educational in all educational institutions, from school to the higher level, from university level also. And few things is very important, that is the all curriculum should be practice based, because each and every curriculum, whether you are reading the history, geography, science, arts, humanities, or other commerce, your curriculum should be practice based. Whatever you are reading, that is not sufficient to give you employment. So whatever you are doing, you have to practice on that, and that's why a practical based curriculum started from the grade 6. And skill gap analysis, that is very important, that where mapping of local opportunities, because whatever applicable in Bengal, maybe that is not applicable in Bihar or UP, whatever applicable in Assam, that is not applicable in like Kerala or like Tamil Nadu. So we have to see that what is the local opportunities, and on the basis of, that's why we have skill mapping is very important, and we have to do the skill gap analysis and skill mapping. And you see the what is the, you know that vocal for local, that is also one of the scheme, that you see the local opportunities and in which area you can start the business and in which area you can excel after starting that business, that you have to see and you gain the training. Then there are so many training also started by open distance learning mode as per NEP 2020, and because the target is at least 50% of the learners will have exposure to vocational education. Lok Vidya, as you know, Lok Vidya is that we have to make accessible to each and every student if they want to be skillful in some other area. National Skills Qualification Framework will be detailed further for each discipline vocation professions. That is also important, and vocational craft. So that is the integration of vocational education in our regular curriculum, whether it is the graduation or masters. So started from the primary education to the higher education, because very important, and for that higher education should be conduct short-term certificate course in various skills including soft skills, and vocational education will also be available to students enrolled in on bachelor degrees program. So that is not as an optional subject, that is the compulsory subject. So now vocational education is a pedagogy. There are so many pedagogy like experience in learning, project learning, like problem solving learning. So that this vocational education of pedagogy. So a teacher should teach any content, any subject through vocational education pedagogy. And what is this pedagogy? This pedagogy, you have to select one topic and you give the student to do practice in that, and they know that what is the future opportunities in that skill, to read how they know about masters in that skill, new skill, learning of new skill. And you can start in the classroom also, you can start in mathematics, in all subjects, mathematics, geometry, biology, economics, history, geography, in all subjects, whether in science, botany, geology, in each and every subject you can do this vocational education pedagogy, and you can give the exposure to your students as a skillful learner. Because you know that nowadays vocational education is the only future of learning. Due to few reasons I just want to discuss, because it accelerates learning. It removes our repetitive learning or learning by rote. It emphasizes on the learning by doing, and it provides a safe learning environment where there is no stress, no tension, no fear of teachers, and you can do your work, and you can learn so many things. It helps in bridging the gap between the theory and practice. And you know that it increases engagement level. Students will engage, students will learn through the experiential learning, and it provides the accurate assessment results. So that is very important. Here the role of, if you think the role of educator, yes, the role of educator is very important, because as you know that educators play a provider role in integrating soft skills development within the curriculum, ensuring students are well prepared for the demands of the modern workforce. Because what happened when students enter in the graduation level after passing 10+2, so if they have selected for the medical or engineering or any other area, then it's okay. If they do the graduation, then they are also very unsure that what they do in future. Their future is almost like dark. They don't know that what they do. So that time the role of the parents, role of the educators, that is very important, that we have to tell our students that what is your interest area and in which area you can excel. So suppose some students are very good in music, some students are very good in dancing, some students are very good in art and craft. So we have to tell them, we have to identify their area, and we have to give the training on that particular area by giving training or by providing lok vidya or providing some other things, so that is particular student will be trained in that particular skill, and job is not the big thing for them. After passing the degree, they can start their own business. So that is very important. And we have to do the curriculum design also. And as you know that as per NEP 2020, curriculum is totally changing process. Almost a few curriculums of few courses are changed, and it is in the process from primary to the higher level. So and even the pedagogical approaches, the teaching method, because traditional teaching method is not enough to do the job, provide the job to our students. So we have to change the new design of our curriculum also, and we have to change our teaching method also. We have to integrate our curriculum, our pedagogical approaches to the skill development, because it is very important nowadays that each and every process of teaching and learning, we have to integrate the skill development, and our students will know, and this only possible to provide the innovative pedagogical approaches, because you know that they need mentors, they need the guide, those who help them to be expert in that area, and communication, empathy, teamwork, we should provide such a learning environment. We have to encourage our students to follow these behaviors, that students should be resilient, they should be adaptable to any situation, because nowadays everything is changing, our new generations are changing, their demands are changing. So we teachers should also change, and we will educate our students in such a way, like assessment method, the feedback method, that we have to change, and we have to encourage students that negative feedback should be avoided. We have to give the positive feedback to encourage students to take an active role in their learning and skill development. Assessment should also that positive, so that students will gain strength. We should help them, we should identify their areas of interest, and we should improve their areas, and that is very important for that professional development for educators, because as an educator we should not be rigid, we should be flexible. So if the time demands the development of soft skills and hard skills to our students, as an educator we also have to develop in ourselves soft skill and hard skill. So suppose I am a teacher and I will say, no, I am already a teacher, I am already a principal, I don't need to learn on this. So this is not good. As an individual being, your learning will help others to learn more and more. So that is very important. Through workshop, through seminar, through faculty development program, we have to train our teachers, our educators, our mentors, so that they can help more and more to the learners. We have to create the supportive learning environment in our campus, university campus, college campus, and we have to give the opportunity to students to develop in skill, like campus bazaar. We have started the campus bazaar. That is very important, because campus bazaar, if you see that no students will say that I will not know on this selling and buying. Selling and buying is not that only vegetable shop selling and market selling and buying. If you become a successful businessman, entrepreneurship, they are also doing the selling and buying. But here in the campus, you have to learn the concept of selling and buying. You know the concept of deal with the customer. So we also organize the campus bazaar, fete, college fete. The student will learn so many things: the teamwork, leadership work, creative thinking, collaborative work, that conflict resolution, that is very important. And conflict resolution, if you learn, that is both beneficial in your home also and in your job also, in your business also. So at last, I just want to say that Government of India is working to major reforms and policies interventions in its skill ecosystem. And for this purpose, various agencies, institutions have been designed to provide technical as well as soft skills as formal and vocational education. So education equips people with the required knowledge, skill, technique, and information required to empower people to lead a meaningful life to a success life. It is very important, and for lead a successful life, for lead a meaningful life, these skills, both soft skill and hard skill, play a achieving role to achieve your career, success in business, and if you are a student, in your academic progress also. So hope that this talk is little bit beneficial for you, and I am very sorry for that interruption due to the network problem in this for my laptop, and I will not. So I will not able to show this PPT from you, but anyway, I have already shared with Sangeeta ma'am, and I request Sangeeta ma'am to share this PPT with participants, so they can check that those, and that will be beneficial for them in academic also, and in other things also. So thank you, Sangeeta ma'am, Jakaria sir, Honorable Principal Sir, and on organizing committee for giving me opportunity to share my viewpoint on entrepreneurship and skill development with you, and how, as per NEP 2020, this vocational education is beneficial for our students from primary to the higher level. Share my one notice, that one thing, that since 2019 I am working with MGNCRE, that is Mahatma Gandhi National Council of Rural Education, that is the part of Department of Higher Education, Ministry of Education, Government of India. And since 2019 I am working on this vocational education and experience and learning. And I have worked, I think, almost all colleges or universities from Assam also, because my working area is this Eastern India, and Assam, Tripura, almost all colleges I have worked, and I have seen that this rigidity, that just I want to share with you, that rigidity, we teachers, we students, we don't want to change. But now the high time that we have to change, we should be flexible, and because every day you are seeing that lots of students, not even the PhD students, are not getting job. I have seen, there are so many PhD students, they have done from the Central University PhD, but they are not getting the job. NET, SET, that is the secondary. There is no importance of NET, SET nowadays in getting a job. If you get the NET and you think that you get a job, you are in the confusion. So that is the situation of our country, that our passing degree, you are not getting job. So what next? Should we leave our youth for unemployment, or should the unemployment percentage is increasing day by day in our country? No, this is the high time. As an educator, it's our responsibilities that we have to bring all the youth, such type of youth, in one platform, and we have to tell them that how still there is time, that how you will be skillful in some your interest area, and how you start your own business, your entrepreneur, so you become entrepreneurship, and you can able to give the job to the 100%. So we learn that students, you are not a job seeker, now you become a job giver. So suppose one IPS, one IS, they are benefiting their own. If they are studying academic degree, they are doing job for their own. But one businessman, if you start a business, if you start universities, a company, you are giving the 100% a job. So this idea you have to keep in mind, and our students should be know that this is the high time. If you want your country to be at global level, developed country, then each and every people should be employed in our country. Then only you can see the dream of the global India, Samarth Bharat, Shrestha Bharat, Uttam Bharat. So with this, I conclude my this presentation. Thank you everyone for giving this opportunity. If any question, I am ready. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am, so much for this wonderful session. I hope participants must have been benefited from your lecture, that I sincerely believe. And now this session is open for discussion. And yes, many of the participants are asking about the PPT, which Madam has already shared with us, and we will share this PPT through WhatsApp group, so don't worry about that. Now it's time for the discussion with Ma'am. If anyone anything, they may come up, they can unmute themselves and they can ask questions. Thank you.
Yeah, so sorry for because my college is just near the Bangladesh border, 5 minutes near Bangladesh border, and internet here is very flexible, coming, going. So sorry for the interruption of not sharing the PPT. But
No issues, ma'am, no issues. It happens.
But Zakaria sir has helped me. Thank you,
Yes.
Zakaria sir, for helping me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Zakaria.
Thank you, ma'am. There are
Participants may also post their queries in the chat box if they wish.
Or you can share your suggestion also. If there is no question, you can share your suggestion. You must have worked with so many projects and how you can give the idea that how you like train our students to start their own startup after passing degree if they will not get job, government or private. So what to do next?
Anyone have any queries?
No question.
So if there are no more queries from the participants' end, then I would like to request all the participants to kindly switch on their videos, so that switch on their cameras, so that we can have a group photograph.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Now I request Ms. Molika Barua to end the meeting with a formal vote of thanks. To Ms. Molika Barua.
Thank you, Zakaria.
It is my honor and privilege to deliver the vote of thanks for this enriching online lecture. First and foremost, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to our principal, Sir Dr. Sobit Soleha, for his unwavering support and encouragement in organizing this event. I extend my sincere thanks to our coordinator, Dr. Sangita Das Ma'am, for meticulously planning and executing every detail of this session. Your efforts behind the scene have ensured a seamless and successful event. A special thank you to our distinguished resource person, Dr. Sabita Mishra Ma'am, for sharing her valuable time and expertise with us. Your insightful presentation and engaging discussion have greatly enhanced our understanding of developing entrepreneurship skill through vocational education. We are deeply grateful for your contribution. I also wish to acknowledge the efforts of our technical assistant who ensured the smooth functioning of this online platform. Your behind-the-scene work has made this session accessible and effective for everyone. Finally, a big thank you to all the participants for your enthusiastic engagement. Your active participation is what made this session truly meaningful. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I just want to share one suggestion to everyone. If you have done, then okay. If not done, so So each and every college, every institution should start this entrepreneurship and skill development cell, and they will give the hands-on experience to their students. So the students, and as a teacher, you will identify their interest area, and you will learn, you will teach them, or you will provide opportunities to learn few skills as per interest area. No work is small, no work is bad. So even that, I suppose my interest area is cooking. So I know that if I left job, I start my cooking business. So at least one spare thing you keep in mind. So anything, suppose Corona has come, maybe any such type of situation will come. You have one skill, so if you left one job, you can start the other things. And this is very easy in the student life to learn anything. Later on, you will only repent that you have not learned this one, you have not learned this one. So during the like graduation course, during the master's course, during the school level, you can learn so many things. And then only you will justify with the inclusion of vocational education, or then only the real implementation of NEP 2020. Otherwise, everything is in document, everything is in policy, and no individual will be benefited from this. So thank you, and I must want to congratulate the organizers for organizing this lecture series on such an important topic and burning topic. So thank you, Honorable Principal Sir, thank you, Sangeeta Ma'am, Zakaria Sir,
Thank you.
Madhika Ma'am, thank you everyone, thank you team member, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
थैंक यू जकीरा सर, बहुत बहुत आभार आपका। और बहुत ही अच्छा सेशन था। और जकीरा सर, आगे भी इस तरह का कार्यक्रम हो तो मैंने समूह ज्वाइन किया है, कोशिश होगी कि इस तरह का अगर संवाद होगा तो अच्छा ही होगा। और सभी लोगों को, सर को भी, प्रिंसिपल सर, संगीता मैम, सभी लोगों को मैं धन्यवाद देता हूँ। मुझे तो यहाँ सविता मैम ही जोड़ी थी कि यहाँ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा लगा मुझे जुड़कर। मैं पटना बिहार से जुड़ा हुआ हूँ और मैं इंटर्नशिप करता हूँ, मैं पत्रकार। धन्यवाद। अच्छा लगा आप लोग के बीच में आकर, इतना अच्छा संवाद का कार्यक्रम। भले ही असम हो, मगर हम एक देश के वासी हैं, एक राष्ट्र के वासी हैं। बट शिक्षा तो एजुकेशन कहीं, क्योंकि एक अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म हम लोग को मिला है। कम से कम ये कोरोना काल ने गूगल मीट और जूम जैसा प्लेटफॉर्म दिया ताकि आप असम में बैठकर जाकिर सर और मैं बिहार में बैठकर एक दूसरे को जान पा रहा।
हाँ सर।
और ये बहुत बहुत आभार जकीरा सर, क्योंकि ये अच्छा लगा मुझे कि इतना अच्छा सेशन था। और थोड़ा सा नेटवर्क हमारी तरफ इश्यूज थे, मगर कोई बात नहीं। आप आपका जो ग्रुप बना हुआ है उसमें आप इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग अगर डाल देंगे तो मुझे इसकी पूरी लिंक मिल जाएगी। धन्यवाद। और कोशिश करूंगा कि जो टॉपिक पे चर्चाएं हुई है वो मैं शेयर भी कर दूं, क्योंकि बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक थी। और आज के समय में स्टूडेंट से लेकर के, भले ही कोई शोधार्थी होगा यहाँ, कोई विद्यार्थी भी होगा, तो मेरा मानना है कि विद्यार्थी हो या शोधार्थी हो, अगर विद्यार्थी अगर आज से ही अगर शोध करना स्टार्ट कर दे अपने विषय के साथ तो बेहतर कर सकते हैं, उन्हें अवसर मिल सकता है। और उसके लिए सबसे अच्छा ये होगा कि आपका जो लेक्चर था वो एक अवसर के सिलसिले में था। हम जैसे युवा पीढ़ी बैठकर बहुत सारे काम कर लेते हैं, डिग्रियां तो बहुत हो जाती है हमारे पास, तो डिग्रियों के साथ अवसर की तलाश खुद स्वयं में ही करना पड़ेगा। तो ये अच्छा चीज है, मैं इसे अवश्य शेयर। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर। हम लोग इस सेशन का लिंक भी शेयर कर देंगे ग्रुप में ही और जीमेल में भी। थैंक यू।
बस निरंतर इस यज्ञ को चलाते रहे आप लोग, और हम लोग जुड़ते रहेंगे, क्योंकि मेरा बस एक शौक है छोटा सा, विद्वानों के सानिध्य में रहना और विद्वानों का सुनना। और इससे बेहतर कुछ भी नहीं हो सकता है, क्योंकि जब अच्छा आप सुनने के आदि नहीं होंगे तो अच्छा वक्ता का कोई गुंजाइश ही नहीं किया जा सकता। इसलिए सुनना बहुत जरूरी है। और सविता दीदी तो खैर मैं उनके बारे में कुछ नहीं कह सकता, इतनी सारी अचीवमेंट वो ले चुकी हैं और हमेशा ऑनलाइन सेशन में अपने साथ मुझे जोड़ती हैं। ये मेरा सौभाग्य है। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद सर।